I'm Mrs. Kessler from Walsh Jesuit High School, and this section is on percentage word problems. So first we need to go over the equations for the percentage word problems. So you've got three different ones. The first one is going to be original price minus your discount times that original price equals the discount sale price. So when you're working with problems that are talking about different sales, you want to use this number one equation. Then the second equation is going to be the cost plus the profit percent times the cost equals the selling price. So this type of equation you want to use when you're trying to figure out how much you want to sell something for if you want to make a certain amount of profit. Then the last equation is going to be an interest at a certain percentage times the money, plus the interest at a different percentage, and then I might give you that same amount, but you're also going to add another amount, equals that total interest. So now when I'm talking about taking money and investing it and making a certain amount of interest, this is the type of equation that you want to use. So now let me give you some examples so that you could use these different equations and they might make a little bit more sense. So let's look at example number one. You are so excited to get a 30% off Kohl's coupon that you went shopping right away. You bought a sweatshirt at 30% off and the original price was $55. What is the sale price of the sweatshirt? So you need to look back at those different equations and you want to realize that you want to use that first equation, which is going to be original price minus the discount percent times that original price equals the discount sale price. So you want to use your original amount minus the discount percentage times that original amount and then equals that discount sale price. So your original amount is $55 minus your discount percent, which is 30%. Now make sure you write that as a decimal, so it'd be 0.3, and then times that original amount, which is 55, equals your discount sale price. So you could even put an S there because you don't know what that is going to be. So you can use this, and then you have 55 minus, you can do 0.3 times 55, and you're going to get 16.5 equals your sale price. And then we actually subtract those, you get 38.5 equals your sale price. So that means that you're going to pay $38.50 for your sweatshirt. All right, our next problem that we've got is example number 2. You work for a clothing company and they want to make a 25% profit on all merchandise. If the store bought a pair of pants for $40, how much would the store sell it for? So right away when you see that profit percentage, you want to use that second equation, which is going to be cost plus profit percent times the cost equals the selling price. So your cost is this $40. Then plus your profit percent, which is 25%. Again, remember to write that as a decimal. And then you multiply it by your cost, which is 40, and then you want to know what your selling price is going to be. So that means that 40 plus 25% of 40 is going to be $10 equals your sale price. So that means 50 equals your sale price. And you want to sell those pants for $50 for you to be able to make a 25% profit. All right, let's go ahead and look at example number 3. So this summer you worked backstage at Blossom Music Center. At the end of the summer you invested a certain amount of money at 6% interest and $2,000 more than that amount at 10% interest. Before leaving for college next year, your total interest is $900. How much did she invest at each rate? So you know that you need to use that last equation, which is interest at X percent times the amount of money. Then that interest at Y percent of that money plus maybe that added amount is going to equal that total interest. So in this equation, you don't know how much money you're investing. So you can even let X equal that money invested. So your interest at X percent for the first one. So just pick the first one, which is 6%. So again, write that as a decimal, which would be 0.06 because it is 6%, times that money that you invested, which you don't know, so that's going to be your X. Then you use a second account, which was going to be at 10%, which is 0.1, and it says that you have $2,000 more than the amount that you invested in the first one. So that means you're going to use X, which is that amount that you invested into the first account, then plus $2,000 more. All right? And that's going to equal your total interest, which is $900. All right, so let's go ahead and work with this equation. You want to distribute this 0.1. So that means I get 0.06x plus 0.1x. 0.1 times 2,000 is just going to be 200 equals 900. 0.06x plus 0.1x is going to give me 0.16x plus 200 equals 900. Then subtract 200 on both sides. You have 0.16x is going to equal 700. Then finally just divide by 0.16. So x equals 700 divided by 0.16 is going to be $4,375. So that means I want you to give me two different answers, because at 6%, so you would say at 6%, you invested that amount of $4,375. But then I also want to know how much you invested in that 10%. So at 10% interest, if you look back at your problem, it said that you invested $2,000 more than that amount at 10%. So that means that you need to add $2,000 to that. So that means that you really invested $6,375 at 10%. So those are your two answers for this problem. So that's it for today. So if you have any questions, make sure you stop in the math office or go ahead and email me at kesterz@wallstreetjoy.org. I'll see you in class.